Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to WWE News and Rumors. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video. Brandon Hodge here, and welcome back to another juicy episode of WWE News and Rumors. So, ladies and gentlemen, today is Sunday. If you guys are kind of confused on the schedule for the WWE News and Rumors show, let me just bring you up to speed. Every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday, there's a brand new episode, so that is the schedule. Today is the Sunday episode, so enough chit-chat. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, the first news story. The first news story is about the WWE, I don't know, what do we call him at this point? Superstar? Legend? It's about Christian. So Christian was in the Royal Rumble. He made his amazing return to the Royal Rumble. He was kind of the same boat as Edge, thinking he might never be able to wrestle again, and it's kind of done for. Then he kind of, I guess he got second opinions by doctors and stuff, and then he was able to make his amazing return in the Royal Rumble just 1 year after Edge, his best friend, made his return the previous year. So that's really, really cool. But Christian was actually on the Bump show this past week, and he was talking about his WWE Future and things. And he basically said, I don't know about my WWE Future. I just don't know. He doesn't have a contract or anything like that. So he said if the Rumble was his last match, then he's okay with it because he went out, I guess, on his terms. But he's cleared. He's ready to go. He's ready to wrestle. He just doesn't have a contract or any plans from WWE. So hopefully they come up with something for the guy because he's ready. He's clear, and he could obviously help the company further themselves and teach younger stars and things like that. So Christian in the WWE as an active wrestler is something I would push for. But we'll just have to wait and see what happens with Christian because he doesn't know, I don't know, so nobody knows. We'll just have to wait and see. All right, the next news story. The next news story is about WWE. They are they've resumed signing, I guess. So they've resumed signing indie stars. So it's not like they're signing a bunch of new people, but due to the pandemic, they actually paused signings and they didn't really sign any new people just to try to save money and get through the pandemic and everything like that. But now they've officially resumed doing the indie signing. So they're signing independent wrestlers is what I'm trying to say here. So independent wrestlers, you may now be able to be signed by the WWE. So they're now signing people again, which is great news to actually hear. All right, the next news story. The next news story is about the Smackdown ratings. So SmackDown's ratings have they've came in, okay? So SmackDown most of the time stays over 2 million viewers, which is decent, right? It's decent. It's not like Attitude Era, pulling in, millions upon millions upon millions, where we just don't even know what to do with these millions of people. It's 2 million is pretty good for WWE during pandemic. Raw's dropped really, really low recently. SmackDown sometimes can break 3 million, 4 million. It's kind of crazy. But anyway, this past week actually did quite poorly. So this past week, SmackDown actually only drew 1.88 million people. Might as well round it up to 1.9 million because you're pretty much there with that. So 1.9 million. So they're a little bit below 2 million. But really not that much. Personally, I'm not worried about it because, this is kind of the gap that's always so hard to keep viewers in because you have the Royal Rumble, one of the greatest concepts ever created in the world. You just this wonderful, non-wrestling fans can watch a Royal Rumble match and enjoy it because it's active, it's ongoing. Every minute and a half, a new person comes out and they're like, oh, look at this guy, and then they'll wrestle for a little bit, and then another minute and a half, another person will come out, so you watch that. So you don't even have to be a wrestling fan to enjoy the Royal Rumble match. My point is, Rumble's a really, really good pay-per-view. Everyone's watching it, everyone's loving it. And then you have WrestleMania, which is, the biggest pay-per-view of the year, the Super Bowl of the WWE. So everyone's watching that. But then you have that gap because, the Rumble's in January, and, you have the WrestleMania normally in April. So you have that gap of February and March. And the question is, what are you going to do to fill that gap? They came up with a few, ideas throughout the years. One of those is Elimination Chamber, which is actually the next pay-per-view, and then there's Fastlane and things like that. That's currently what they're doing. It does an okay job, but it's not comparing to the Royal Rumble or WrestleMania. You're not comparing to those two, so it's so hard to fill that gap. And I think one of wrestling's lowest points is towards the very end of the year, and then this gap between Rumble and Mania. I mean, it's not as low as the end of the year because, some people are like, we're on the road to WrestleMania, let's watch and see what's going to happen. So we're familiar with people when WrestleMania comes around. But a lot of people, casual people, just don't tune in until, the big shows like Rumble and WrestleMania. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so those are the only confirmed news stories I have for you guys today. But don't you dare go anywhere, guys, because things are about to get good. Things are about to get, let's say, juicy. So let's go ahead and advise you guys, go ahead and get your juice boxes out. Get your juice boxes ready, because ladies and gentlemen, it is now time to talk about some juicy juicy rumors. All right, the first rumor. The first rumor is about this backstage kind of. It's being described as not like an irritation, not like a upsetness, more like a pure anger. Like a pure anger. People are pissed backstage at WWE right now. So I don't know if it's so much the wrestlers, but it's more to do with like the staff and people and even the corporate people. So I think this is more like a corporate backstage. I heard this is affecting producers and all kinds of people backstage at WWE. I don't believe it's really affecting wrestlers so much because they have like a locked-in contract and they're independent contractor. They're not like, I guess, an employee of WWE, which is weird because like the people in the corporate office are employees of WWE. But yet the wrestlers aren't. I think the employees get benefits from WWE. It's very interesting. I don't know if they do it. I'm thinking they may. But basically, guys, there's an anger backstage because WWE apparently held a meeting early this past week saying that WWE will no longer, at least for the time being, will no longer promote you. So if you have like a position in the corporate office, you're doing something, just like paperwork or something, you're just starting out. You're like, I started here, I can climb ways up the ladder. No, you can't, because there's no ladder to climb. The rungs of the ladder have been ripped out. There's no possible way for you to get up that ladder no more, because the ladder is now on fire. So this is just my weird analogy here, or whatever the proper terminology is, but basically, WWE said they are no longer going to be promoting people for the time being. They are no longer giving raises, so you will not make any more money. You will not advance in the company or anything like that for the time being. And this is not for wrestlers, apparently. It's kind of iffy. There's like some like people saying it is, but it's not. But I don't think it is because they like have contracts and things like that. So they're kind of locked in until their next contract when they can get a raise. So I guess it's unlike the actual employees. But basically, people are pissed about that. And if that wasn't bad enough, they went ahead and said, you know, you guys get a bonus, like a performance bonus, like at the end of the year, beginning of the year, or whatever. We're going to go and take that away. So that really set people on freaking fire backstage, I guess. So apparently they didn't get their bonus yet. Like I guess some companies give like their bonus at Christmas time. I guess WWE give their bonus like after the performance review at the beginning of the year. So I guess these people were supposed to get their like big bonuses that they had plans to do with like within a few weeks, but WWE's like, you know what? You're not gonna get that bonus after all. Vince McMahon, screw you all. So I imagine that's how it went. But yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised. I mean, I believe a lot of, not just WWE, a lot of businesses are using the pandemic as an excuse of sorts, being like, due to the current climate of the world and the pandemic, we can no longer, it's just kind of an excuse to screw people. Like some companies are actually struggling and actually really getting hurt out there and really, you know, going out of business and things like that. They're really struggling. But other companies are just using it as an excuse to make even more money and to make their profit margins even larger. So it's really, really crazy and messed up, but this is what's happening in the world right now. All right, the next rumor is about Bayley. So apparently Bayley was accidentally eliminated from the Women's Royal Rumble match. Okay, so I don't think it was too big of a mess, but maybe it wasn't even that big of a mess up at all. Maybe she could have just went out of the match whenever. But apparently Bayley was supposed to be in the Women's Royal Rumble match, actually a little bit longer than she actually was. I don't know if there was like a miscommunication or she just, I don't know what happened. Maybe she didn't slip or anything like that. I mean, she wasn't, I don't think, supposed to be one of the finalists or even, I mean, obviously she wasn't going to win the match. So she had to be out of the match anyway. She just, I guess, got eliminated a little earlier than she was actually supposed to. Maybe a miscommunication with people, or maybe she just got confused when she was supposed to get out. So it's kind of interesting. I don't know. Obviously, I'm sure every Rumble there's always some like mix-ups with the eliminations and someone gets eliminated earlier than they're supposed to. But as long as the winner doesn't get eliminated, then I guess it's okay. Alright, the next rumor is about WrestleMania 37 tickets. So everyone always writes in here to the new show or whatever, writes into Mr. Brandon Hodge. And well, they have the questions, right? Every once in a while we have a question, and one question I've been getting a lot is WrestleMania 37 tickets. Brandon. I'm like, I don't know, guys. I don't know. I have to go on what's out there on the internet. I don't have sources inside the WWE or anything like that. I just go what's out there on the internet. I do my research real good to make sure that it's multiple sources and it's going to be at least hopefully factual. But as for WrestleMania 37 tickets, what I'm hearing right now is there is a delay on the tickets. Like a lot of people were expecting them to be like announced this past week. There's a delay on the tickets because they obviously studied the Super Bowl, because the Super Bowl's was in the same venue that WrestleMania is going to be. Both of the events are going to be in Raymond James Stadium. Super Bowl's already been in Raymond James Stadium. But basically, WWE studied the Super Bowl to see how they did everything, how they made things safely, and then WWE are going to try to use that to make their event even more safe. So they're looking at the Super Bowl, seeing what they did right, what they did wrong. Some people are complaining the Super Bowl could have been done better. They're taking everyone's advice and kind of looking at everything and trying to plan it the best. And the reason they have to do this before tickets go on sale, because they have to know where to put the ticket, like which seats are going to be available and which seats are not going to be available for social distancing reasons. So basically that's what they're doing right now, and hopefully tickets, I'm hoping, will be announced this coming week. I'm really hoping, fingers crossed. Because I'm already planning a trip to Florida. Like I got my hotel booked. I got, other things booked for Florida. I'm excited to go. I'm excited to do Brandon Hodge Vlogs, King of Vlog style, returning. But as for the tickets for the actual show, I have no idea. Hopefully next week they'll be announced, but that's all I really know. Alright, the next rumor is about Mr. Roman Reigns, our current Universal Champion. So, the current Universal Champion will not, you heard me right, will not be defending his title inside the Elimination Chamber structure. So he will be defending his title at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, however, but he will not be in the actual structure of the chamber. Now, what's the reason for that? Why is that? Why is he not in it? So they are having a SmackDown Men's Chamber match, but it's like, I don't know if it's the first ever, but not too often they do these where it's not for the title, it's for the #1 contendership. So it'll be the challenger for his title, but it's not for like WrestleMania or anything. It's maybe for the same night. I don't think I've ever seen that done. But basically, guys, the question remains, why? Well, why is Reigns not defending his title in the chamber? Well, apparently the reasoning for this, and you can probably guess it, the reasoning for this is because they don't want him to get injured right before Mania, because, Mania's only a few months away. Roman Reigns is their top star. He is going to be the main event of WrestleMania, so they don't really want, like, a slight chance of the guy getting injured. So they're still going to allow him to wrestle, but he is not going to be in the actual, metal structure of the chamber. If it even is metal anymore, it seems like it's like more plasticky now. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it's now time to go and get your tissues out, get your tissues ready, because this is the saddest part of this entire video. So it is about WrestleMania. We'll talk about big stars at WrestleMania. So there's a big few stars out of the WWE, and they're not necessarily out just because of the pandemic or whatever like that. They're just out to, their own personal reasons, I guess. So Lesnar's out because he doesn't have a contract with the WWE, and I guess it kind of has to do with the pandemic. So the question remains, is Lesnar going to be at Mania? Well, the rumor is Lesnar's on call for Mania, so all they have to do is call up Lesnar, offer him a lot of money, and he'll show up just for like a one-time deal. He currently does not have a contract with the WWE, but they could obviously pull up one if they wanted to pay the guy. But the next person that's missing, and is missing because she just had a baby, her name is Becky Lynch. Now, is Becky Lynch going to be at WrestleMania is the question. It's a very interesting question. She was teasing she was going to be at Rumble, but obviously she didn't, show up at Rumble because she just had a baby the month before. So she had her baby in December, and Mania is going to be like the first weekend of, or maybe second weekend of April. So is it possible? I mean, I'm sure it's possible. I don't know if they'll actually do that just for like planning purposes, because they already have like pretty much what they're doing, unless she like comes back for some reason and faces Asuka or something. I don't know. But my personal guess would be, no, Becky probably won't be at Mania. I think, if anything, she might return the night after WrestleMania, the best Raw of the entire year, Monday Night Raw, the night after WrestleMania. I could definitely see Becky Lynch returning then, so she could be at Mania, I don't know, but my personal guess is going to be the Raw after, but that's just what I think. So there you guys have it. That is actually going to do it for this episode of WWE News and Rumors. Right now on the screen, I'm going to leave a link to 2 previous videos for you guys to check out, as well as a button to subscribe to this channel if you're brand new here. But thank you guys for watching this video. I am Brandon Hodge, and I will see you guys in the next video.